The Knicks are getting ready for their second round series with the Boston Celtics. They practiced on Saturday, and New York Post Knicks beat writer Stefan Bondy, he was with the team as they get ready for game one, which will be on Monday night in Boston. Steph joins me now. Steph, how you doing, sir? Are you in second round playoff mode?
Yeah, that's right. Third time with this franchise. So they got to get over that hump, and they haven't yet. So we'll see what happens against the Celtics. They're certainly the underdogs.
All right, they got to get over that hump, folks. We're trying to get Steph to cover Eastern Conference Finals. That's what we're trying to see happen here. But Steph, got to ask you this. After a gritty first round win over the Pistons, what lessons or momentum from that series do you think are most valuable for the Knicks heading into Boston?
I mean, momentum wise, I mean, you couldn't have ended on, a more dramatic finish. So I think, I don't know if there were lessons to take so much as reiterations of what we already knew about this team in terms of Jalen Brunson in crunch time is your great advantage. And I've said this all along, for months, because we've been talking about this Celtics Knicks series for months, is that their one chance at stealing something here is keeping it close towards the end of the game and giving the ball to Jalen Brunson, letting him do his thing. The Celtics are by far the better team. I predict they're going to win in 5 games, the Celtics. But if the Knicks can get to a position where, you know, the game is within 2 points and there's 2 minutes left, I trust Jalen Brunson over Jason Tatum.
That is a statement right there, and that says a lot about Captain Clutch and what he's done for the Knicks. I guess I ask you this about lessons, because you and I have been talking about this for a while, about the Knicks trying to close the gap, and we'll get to that later. But what, if anything, can the Knicks take from their regular season losses, all four of them, to the Celtics, and then apply it to this playoff series?
Don't let them take that many 3-pointers. Figure out a way to not get Karl Anthony Towns matched up against Jason Tatum. Navigate the screens better. I think, a big question into this series is how they're going to handle Kristaps Porzingis. He only played in half the regular season games against the Knicks. Either way, the Knicks struggled against whether it's Porzingis or Al Horford setting those screens. So I think just, the regular season matchups, if you're the Knicks, obviously you want to throw away the results, pretend like they didn't happen. But I think the biggest lesson that they could learn is figure out a way to manage those screens involving the center and whoever is guarding Jason Tatum. I assume it's going to be OG Anunoby. Figure out a better way to navigate those and not give up as many 3-pointers. I think the drop coverage for Karl Anthony Towns is not something you want to do in this series.
Yeah, might want to drop the drop coverage. We'll see if the Knicks do that. Who do you see as the X factor, Steph, for the Knicks in this series, outside of Brunson and Towns, who we know need to come up big? But who do you see as the X factor, and why?
Yeah. How about the bench? The Knicks bench was, when you look at what was really wrong in that first round series, or really didn't go as you would have hoped, it's the bench. I mean, Miles McBride is somebody that the Knicks have been leaning on a lot the last 2 seasons, and he came up with nothing in that first round series. I think he's more than capable of showing a lot more. I think the Knicks need bench scoring in order to topple the Celtics, who have, the sixth man of the year, and they have a deep roster, and they play fast, and they're going to wear you down. The Knicks are obviously a lot thinner. They're going to need some production from Miles McBride, who's going to be playing more, so that Jalen Brunson will be fresh and ready to take over down the stretch. So I'm going to go with Miles McBride in the bench.
I like that pick there. Bench needs to step it up in this series for sure against the Celtics. Last thing for me, Steph, how much of this series is what you and I have been talking about for months, which is the Knicks proving that they belong and can compete among the elite teams in the East? How much of this series is riding on that? They need to show that here against Boston.
I mean, it's everything, because if they don't, they're gone. It's over. So this is your last chance. There's no more chances. So we could talk about being 0-8 against Boston and Cleveland in the regular season. We can talk about how they didn't win one game against Boston, Cleveland, or OKC. This is it. I mean, they talked all along about how that didn't matter, how it was, the regular season doesn't really translate to the playoffs. We'll see. And this is their last chance. They came into this. They're going to come into this series with as the huge underdogs. They're going to come in with the label of pretenders rather than contenders. They're going to have to prove otherwise.
Yeah, they're going to have to prove it here. Steph, you've picked the Knicks to lose here in 5 in this series. One last thing for you. Does it matter if your prediction holds true, does it matter how they look in those 5 games, right? In terms of them being competitive, does that matter a lot to you? How they look?
Yeah, for sure, for sure, for sure. I mean, listen, when you go into an off season, an important off season, and I know they're not going to have much maneuverability with the roster, just in terms of the lack of cap space, and everything that they're dealing with the aprons and everything. So I understand that, but when you go into an off season, you're going to look into how close are we, and if they look like they're not close at all against the Celtics, that might lead to different kind of changes than if they look like they're only 1 or 2 pieces away, or a small piece, or a big piece. I think, we'll see a lot of that, and it'll be dictated in this upcoming series.
Yeah, a lot riding on this series. Knicks and Celtics gets underway Monday night at the TD Garden in Boston. Stefan Bondy, our Knicks beat writer covering the team for New York Post, will be there. Steph, we'll see if the team can get you to the Eastern Conference Finals. You're still in playoff mode. Appreciate you, my friend. Thank you.
All right, man. I'll see you.